Hey guys, welcome back. We talk an awful lot about the lore within Final Fantasy XII, there is no doubt about that. But today I wanted to try something a little bit different from my usual lore videos. This time around I wanted to dive into some subject matter and discuss about things that you may have not have known about Final Fantasy XII, whether it be development alterations, minor in-game scenes, or other missable events. However, the amount of stuff that the game simply has hidden away is something that I feel that most players may not be aware of, which does add a layer of depth and character to the game, which to me is just astounding. So to start off this little missable series, here are 5 things that you may have not have known or missed in Final Fantasy XII. Number 5. Making oneself scarce. This missable yet minor scene is usually missed right at the beginning of the game once you take control of Vaan for the second time. In order to not miss out on this small event, you need to simply defeat the 3 dire rats in the Barham waterway, and watch the following scenes until you are tasked to meet Mugello. Once you have control of Vaan, instead of proceeding straight to Mugello, quickly turn around and head back to the Mithru Bazaar. A scene will play where you'll see 2 Imperial soldiers talking to one another, and Vaan will comment about making himself scarce, in relation to the Imperial he stole money from in the cutscene earlier. Basically meaning that he needs to hide himself before he gets himself caught. Now if you continue without turning around, this scene will no longer be available, so you must do this before talking to Mugello. Number 4. Guards of the Barham Passage. This missable scene is more likely to be missed as the game doesn't really need you to travel out towards the sand-swept maze of the Dalmasca Ester Sand, which is near one of the entrances to the Barham Passage. However, if you manage to cross out this far with a little bit of curiosity, a little scene will play at the passage entrance as you approach both Shifty Seek and Bumbling Seek. Shifty Seek mentions that there's nothing to see here and pretty much to get lost. However, Bumbling Seek, being as naive as he is, explains openly that their boss is taking the treasures from within the Barham Passage. As to what treasures that would be remains unknown, but either way, there is no way to get inside until you progress further into the game. Now if you escape from the Barham Passage, this scene will no longer be accessible, resulting in both Shifty and Bumbling Seek concerned about their boss. Number 3. Sandsea Pirates. Right after you escape from the Barham Passage and return to Rabanastre, there is another missable scene that you might be unaware of. Once you return to Rabanastre and the party disbands and goes their separate ways, your objective is to head to Mugello's and meet up with Penelo. However, this isn't going to be the case here. Instead, head to the Sandsea and walk up to the flight of steps where both Balthier and Fran will be residing. Here, a little scene will play discussing of finished business and returning to Penelo, as if she's quite worried about Vaan. However, the chance to see this scene expires after you deliver the Sword of the Order to Vossler. Number 2. Angry Bounty Banga. This scene is unlike the others that I have mentioned earlier, as it's an actual in-game scene instead of the usual box of text. However, this missable scene takes place in the Lusu Mines in Bujirba, and is usually not sought after, and actually has 2 variations to it. Scene A happens if you are strong enough and are able to beat Beganman and his lackeys, which will result in him fleeing in anger as shown here.
Confound you! I will have my pound of flesh yet, Balthier!
Scene B occurs if you run away from him and make it all the way to the shaft entry. Usually Scene B is the one shown, but if you manage to defeat the Bangas, you are then rewarded with a good amount of LP and any treasure that you may have forgotten, which is located in the Site 2 of the Lusu Mines. Number 1. Garamscythe Waterway Party Leader Effects Dialogue. This is rather an interesting missable event as it takes place right after Fran and Balthier joins your party for the first time, and after you are given the tutorial on gambits and their functionality. But once the tutorial has passed and you are given control over your characters, examine the fallen soldiers nearby for a minor scene. After Balthier provides some context on why those soldiers were there, if you examine the fallen soldiers again after the cutscene with each character as the party leader, the dialogue for each character will change to being something different instead of being the same response. An interesting hidden piece, if I may say so myself. So with all that said and done, that about does it for my first 5 things that you may have not have known about or missed in Final Fantasy XII. Finding these hidden missables makes me appreciate the little things that the developers put into the game to give it more depth, to make the game feel much more alive, and with it is something that I'm truly grateful for. So with that said, thank you for watching guys, as I really do appreciate it, and if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing and liking the video if you learned something new. Enable notifications, that way you'll be notified whenever a new video gets uploaded. Thanks again guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.